Everybody, warm welcome. Today's topic of discussion is Linux commands. Understanding Linux basic commands. Why to learn Linux? Linux is one of the widely used, most popular operating system. It is used in every environment. So for better job prospects, it is good to have Linux skills in your profile. I'm Sonal. I have more than 25 years of IT experience, have delivered more than 800 trainings to various corporates across the globe. My expertise is Unix, Linux, IBM AIX, ITIL, Bash shell scripting, Amazon Web Services. If you're planning to upskill yourself, you can opt for Odin. Odin is a technology upskilling platform. Odin provides you multiple technologies you can learn from industry experts. The agenda for today's topic of discussion is understanding command structure, Linux command structure, and basic commands. So we'll have complete hands-on demonstration along with the understanding of commands. There are two types of commands. The commands in Linux are categorized under two types: built-in commands, external commands. Now, when I say external, it does not mean that you have to install it separately. All the commands are ported with the operating system. But this is from shell perspective. Built-in commands are those commands which are built in with the shell. Shell is a user interface. You interact with Linux operating system using shell. So whatever command you submit to shell, it interprets your request and send it to kernel. There are multiple shells available, and the default shell for Linux operating system is Bash. So there are certain commands which are built in with Bash, integrated within the same Bash executable file. Those are built-in commands, built into shell. External to shell commands are those commands which are stored as a separate file. Each command has its own separate executable file. Those are external to shell commands. Example of built-in command: you can find cd, type command, echo command. External commands: you will get majority of commands as external. Hardly 5 to 6 or very few commands are there under built-in category. External, for example, ls, date, who, grep, find, all these are external commands. Each of this command has its own executable file stored in Linux hierarchical file system structure. Now, how to check that? If I would want to know whether I am using a built-in command or an external command, we have a command to identify that. As I go back to the terminal, I am logged on here with a regular user. I am there at a shell prompt. You can see $prompt. And now when I execute some command, I would like to know whether it is a built-in or external. Okay, so I can use a command which. If I specify which of who, It provides me absolute path of the command file, where the command file is located. And that shows that this is an external command. As I said before, every external command has its own executable file. If I use which of, let me check. Okay, here also. Now it slightly differs across the Linux platform. Some command is built in with shell in one Linux, external in the other Linux. Which of, let's say date, it will show you the absolute path. Now what is the difference between these two commands when you execute these commands, a built-in command and an external command? What is the difference? The main difference is built-in commands get executed in the current shell, the shell in which you are placed right now, because those are part of the shell and the shell is already opened. You are at a prompt that shows that shell is already running, and when you are executing some command here, it is just we are calling one part of that program, that shell. So it gets executed in the current shell, but all the external commands get executed in a subshell. Forking happens. All the external commands gets executed in a subshell. A fork system call is used. So whenever I am executing any external command, a separate shell, a subshell is opened. Now let me explain you with an example. I am executing date. The moment I hit enter, you get the output without understanding where the command got executed. It is so fast we can't make out whether it got executed in the current shell or in a subshell. But this command actually got executed in a subshell. Only the result is displayed, the output is displayed in the current shell. Now how does that happen? The moment you try executing any external to shell command, it does forking. Now what is a fork system call? A fork system call is used to create a subshell. So a subshell is opened, which is identical to parent shell. Now the default shell of Linux is bash, so I am there in bash. So a subshell of the type bash is opened. Now how do I check that my current shell? I would like to cross check whether I am there in bash or what is my current shell. Echo $0 provides me my current shell name. So now a subshell is opened of the type bash. The command is loaded in a subshell. It is executed, and once the execution is done, the result is sent back to the parent shell. This subshell is created using a fork system call. Command is executed using another system call exec. And it is terminated once the execution is done. This subshell is terminated using exit system call. So various system calls are used internally to forward the shell request to kernel. Using system call, shell communicates with kernel. So the output what we get it on terminal, this is just the output which is displayed in the current shell, but the actual execution happened in a subshell. So for all external commands, forking happens. Command structure. In Linux operating system, first you specify the command name or keyword, followed by options. A space is there between command and a option. Between options and argument, space. And then you specify the argument. Now, depending on the type of command, it is not required to provide options and argument. Just a command name is sufficient. Options are optional. So it's your requirement, it's up to you what information you would like to get from the command. Accordingly, you can use options and arguments. Now, how do I place the option? A simple example here, command. I am taking one command by the name ls. ls is a command name. Option, I am using L. Every option has to be prefixed with hyphen. That differentiates between an option and an argument. If you do not provide hyphen, let's say I am providing some argument here. I provide argument as /opt here. Now if you give the command like this, if you try executing the command like this, it will take L and opt as two different arguments. So you have to use hyphen before the option name. Together, no space between hyphen and option name. So command, option, argument, and a space between all these words. What if you want to provide multiple options? You can use command name, option. I can separate with a space like hyphen L, hyphen I. Like this, I can separate with a space. I can even specify multiple arguments separated by space. So this is another way when you want to provide multiple options. Or you can club the options together. I can, with a single hyphen, I can put two options together. But the arguments, multiple arguments should also always be separated by space. So that's a command line structure. That's a syntax of the commands in Linux. Let us start with the commands. Basic, the most important command. ls is the most important and a basic command. Though it is basic, but it is useful and important. Use it all in every Linux environment. ls is being used. Now what is ls? ls stands for listing. Listing files and directories. By using ls command, you can list files and directories in the current directory as well as in any subdirectory. Example, ls. I just provide ls without any option and argument. It gives me list of files and directories. How do I differentiate? How do I know that which is a file and a directory here in this list? Let me quickly create a directory here. You can see a change in the color. So the one which is displayed in blue color is a directory and the white one is a file, text file, ordinary file. But this is like not necessary that it will always display in different colors. Let me do some changes and let me rerun this command. Now, though dir1 is a directory, but it is displayed in white, means everything is displayed in. So how do file? There is an identifier. For each type of file, we have an identifier. Let's understand the identifier. Hyphen is a identifier for ordinary file. Any text file will have hyphen as an identifier. Does not mean only ASCII text. Any file with the content, irrespective of the type of content. It could be an executable file, a normal text file, it could be a content. So all files, a file with a content identifier hyphen. Directory file, identifier D. Here we also call, we call directory also as a file because everything in Linux is considered as a file. You create a directory, that is also a file. So we call it as a directory file. You install a device. Even a device is used as a file, treated as a file. So we have got identifier for device files as well. There are two identifier for device file. B is block special device file. C is character special device file. So block and character. Type of identifier, soft link file. A soft link file has got small l. This is small l as an identifier. Now where do I see these identifiers? Let me show you the command. ls-l. I'm using an option of ls which is by the name -l, which stands for long listing. It provides me additional information about files and directories. It gives me total 9 fields of information. Okay, now the identifier which we just discussed, let me show you where you can see those identifiers. The very first column of this output highlights the identifier. In a long listing, if any file starts with hyphen, it's an ordinary file. If it starts with D, it's a directory file. Directory file hyphen ordinary file. Presently, in my current location, there is no link file and I am not in a dev directory, so it is not showing the device file. If I do ls-l, and now when I am doing ls-l, it is showing me the list of files and directories from the current location, the current directory. If I want to see long listing for any, like to check what all files do I have under dev. So all the device files are there under dev. C is a identifier for character special device file and B is a identifier for a block special device file. So you will get to see B and C files under this location, that is /dev. So that is how we differentiate between different types of file. Now coming to the different options of ls. There are lots of options available with ls. Let us have some useful options here. Okay, before I go for other options, let me explain you the various fields highlighted here. Complete long listing. Now after the identifier, that's the very first column, this rest of the bits or rest of the information in that field is that highlights the permission, file permission. RWX, read, write, execute. Three different types of permission a file has: read, write, and execute. It is displayed in the same sequence. If a file, now in this, if I take the sample file, RW dash is there. Dash indicates that the permission is off or permission is denied. Now the sequence is RWX and X character is missing over there. So it means that there is no execute permission. Now why these characters are getting repeated? We have RW, RW, RW. 3 plus 3 plus 3, total 3 plus 3 plus 3, total 9 bits are there. So first 3 bit permission is of owner's permission. Next 3 bit permission is group owner. So this is owner permission. The next one is a group owner and the last 3 bit is of others permission. This is first field. Second field, that provides you number of hard link count. How many hard links are there created for my file? That count is highlighted in this second field. Third field, it shows me owner, owner's name. Who is the owner of the file? Who has created the file? Ship is been set. The owner, now I logged on with this user. EC2-user is the one through which I logged on. If you see here EC2-user, this is my login user. Now if I create some file, I will become the owner of that file. My username becomes the ownership of the file. Group owner. Next field, the fourth field provides you group owner, to which group the file belongs to. After that, fifth field gives you the size of the file in bytes. So this F1, F2, F3, these are empty files. Next we have date, time of file creation or modification, or if a file has changed. And then finally last field, that is ninth field, is file name. So total 9 fields of information provided by long listing. ls-i. I is an option that provides me inode number. Inode number. Inode number is a unique identifier given to each file by Linux, by operating system. It's a unique identifier. I stands for index or identification. It's kind of an identification number given to your file. So a file is identified in the operating system by using its inode number. Why is that so? A file name can be duplicated. I have a sample file in my current location. I can also have sample file in some other directory. So I can have same name files across multiple directories. That's quite possible. But inode numbers are unique. So if I want to see the inode number ls-i, I can check for any location ls-i. I can just provide a file name or a directory name let's say dir1, so it will give me, now it's an empty directory, else it will provide me inode number for all files and directories inside this. So ls-I can provide multiple arguments separated by space. ls-I, since all these files are starting with the same character f, I can also provide f star starting with f, giving me listing inode number for all the files starting with f. ls-I can club the options together li, and then I can specify the argument if I want. If I don't, it will provide me the long listing along with inode number for all the files and directories in my current location. Else I can give, if I want to explore some directory, I can provide the directory name. I can provide multiple directory names. So these are the various syntax how we execute the command single. Now if I quickly show you the history, you will get to see the list of commands which I executed. So different way we can execute this command. Just a command without any option and argument, with an option, with option and argument, or with multiple arguments, multiple options and multiple argument. ls-a, a for all. It lists me all the files along with hidden files. Let me rerun this command. All the files with along with hidden files. Now how do I identify the hidden files here? All the files that starts with dot are hidden files in Linux. If you want to hide some file, while you create a file, just provide a dot at the beginning of a file name, and that becomes a hidden file. So it's a hidden file. ls-d. If I would like to see some information about a directory, now ls I am using /dir1. Let me check. Okay, ls-dir1. So this directory is my bad. It's completely empty. But what if I would like to see the long listing of this directory? I would like to see the permission of this directory. So I am using -l. It's not showing me because it's a directory and it always try to explore a directory. So if I would like to get any information about a directory, I have to club D option with other options. So along with L, I am using D to get directory information. So now I got to get to see the long listing for a directory. I can also use I option to get the inode number of a directory. So like this, there are so many options available with Linux. My bad, with ls command. Now it is not just the ls command. There are many commands. It's like ocean of commands. So many commands are there. With each command there are multiple options. How it is possible to remember? We cannot remember each and every option. We remember only those options which we use it regularly. What if we want to explore additional options? What if there is a requirement to list some file or to get some information about a file and we are not aware of the option available for that? So the best thing is use online help. Now when I say online help, I don't mean a Google help. You should online means when you are connected, when you are logged on to Linux, you can get help for any command from the operating system, and that is known as manual pages. So we have a man command which will provide us the information about any command. Now let's check. I would like to get the help for ls. So man for ls. It provides me information about detail complete information about ls command under different section, different heading. Now command name. So under name it gives me a small information, a brief information about the command, about the command functionality. Syntax under synopsis. Under description I get to see all the options with the description. So if I go down, now how do I go down? I can use enter key to go to next line. I can use space key to go to next page. So one page it will take jump to next page. Space is next page, enter is next line. So you can see so many different options are there. Again I switch to next page, again next page. If I would like to come out of this in between, Q for quit. So you can get help and explore options of the Linux commands. ls-capital R. Capital R gives me list of all the files and directories recursively. Now the topmost directory or the topmost object in a hierarchical file system structure is the root, indicated by /. Now if I give ls capital R and /. So it is giving me list of, it's exploring the entire structure, file system structure. I would like to explore tmp directory. I would like to get recursive list of tmp. Okay, so it will all, it capital R option opens each and every subdirectory and provides you the complete list. I am using clear command to clear my screen. Next command is cat. Cat is used to create a file. It is used to display a file. It is used to concatenate as well as to append the contents of a file. Let me show you the demonstration how we can do each of these things. Now how to create a file using cat. Cat greater than and then file name. Anything you can give as a file name. If you provide existing name, existing now as, let me show you ls cat greater than f1. If I am using existing file name, it overrides the content. So be very careful before you create a file using cat because it does not provide you any interactive message. Now I hit enter and I can start typing. Once I am done, Control D. Control D is save and exit. My file is created. I would like to view cat file name. Again if I do same thing, just to show you how it gets overwritten, again Control D and then cat of file name here. My file content got overwritten, right? If I would like to append, so I can use, instead of single greater than sign, I should use double greater than sign, which is known as redirection append operator. Control D again after I finish my typing, and then so it always gets appended to a new line. So we saw how to create a file using cat, how to overwrite, how to view, how to append. Let's see how to concatenate. I will create one more file, F11, Control of D. Two files I have, F1 and F11. I am providing both the file names with cat command as an argument separated by space. You can see a combined output in the combined content in the output. So we can use cat for concatenation. It is just for display. The concatenated output is just for display. None of the files are disturbed. Now, how do I save this? Suppose the concatenated output I would like to capture, would like to save it in a file. So what I can do? I can use a redirection and a new file name. Let's say my file name is F12. I am done. Now I do cat of F12 and this is permanent. The entire concatenated content is there stored in a file. Now when you want to view a file, let's say I have a file with huge amount of data. I am just giving this cat of let's say F12. Presently I have only few lines. But suppose if a file is quite big and I would like to see with line numbers -n. It will just display all the lines with the line number. It won't add the line numbers in a file, just to display. So this is a command, cat command, which is used suitable for creating small files because the problem with cat is, if I show you again, now again I'm creating, let's say, now this F12 file has got this content and I would like to edit this content. I would like to add some content on first line. I would like to remove something from second line. That is not possible with cat. It doesn't allow us to edit any file. Now if I give the same thing cat greater than file name, or I even use double greater than sign, but I can't see the previous content, hence I cannot edit. So it is suitable to view, to concatenate, to append and to create small files. If at all you want to edit a file, you have to take help of an editor. Now, there is another command to create file, touch. Suppose I have a requirement wherein I would like to create 50 files, but I just want to create files. I don't want to type any content. Some testing has to be done. For that, I just want to create bulk number of files. I can use touch command. Touch command allows us to create multiple empty files. I am creating all these files, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. These are all my file names. I am done. Multiple files. Can you see? So all these files got created, but it did not prompt me for content. When I do long listing to check, you get to see all these files are 0 byte. Let me execute this command. Yeah. Now A1, A2, all these files are 0 byte. Does not have any content. Later, if you want to add the content, either you can use cat or you can take help of an editor. CP command. CP command is used to copy files and directories. CP, source file name, Before that, let me quickly check if I have any content. Yes, I do have cp f12 f13. So what I am doing, I'm currently copying the content of my source file to target file, and both of these files, like my source file is there in my current directory and my target will also get created in the current directory, doing a copy operation within the same location. Let me run this command. Done. Cat of f13. Now the entire content got copied. Let me rerun this command once again. First time when I executed, my f13 file was a non-existing. I provided a new name. This time it's an existing file. Let's see what happens. It gets overwritten. So when you are providing the target file as an existing, it gets overwritten. So better use -I option. It makes interactive. It will prompt you before overwriting to an existing file. If we give yes, only then it gets overwritten. I would like to copy this f12 file from my current location to a different location. So I can provide the path. Let's check ls of tmp, and you can see it got copied by the same name because I did not provide a file name. If I would want to copy with a different name, I can provide a file name. I want to copy a file from tmp. Now presently I am not in tmp. If I run pwd command, present working directory, it shows me my current directory status. So currently I am in home ec2 user. I would want to copy a file from tmp, a file name is f14, to opt. Okay. So from one location to another location, we don't have to go to that location, just provide the absolute name. Okay, cannot create, I guess, opt. Oh, my bad. Why is it not happening? Opt is a file system. So I, as a regular user, do not have rights to copy or do not have rights to create anything under opt because I am logged in as regular user. Let me quickly switch to super user, and I will be able to perform the same activity from tmp f14 to opt by the name f15, and it's done. Let me quickly check f15 is there. So that's a cp command. You can copy files as well as you can copy directories. To copy directory, you will have to use cp-r, recursively copying a directory. So let's say dir1. I have a dir1 directory with multiple files and subdirectories, and I would like to copy to dir2. So what's -r option does? The entire dir1 structure will be created in dir2. So R option has to be used when you would like to copy a directory. mv command. mv command is used to move as well as to rename files as well as directories. Now let me check what I will just do. One thing, I'll go back to my previous environment, previous user where I have the files. Okay, now mv, I would like to change the name of sample file with a demo file. Sorry, dem. Okay. So my file name has been changed. So MV is used to rename as well as to move. I would like to move the entire content of F12 to F22. Now there is no F12 file because MV is like cut and paste. Cutting from one place, pasting it to another place. So the source file will be deleted or it will be renamed. Source is renamed with target. So the content has gone to target. You can also use -I option to make the process interactive. Okay, I have already renamed it, so I should go with source should be always some existing file name, cannot be a new name. It did not prompt me anything right now because F23 the name is a new name. If it is an existing, oh my bad. Now my source file is gone. Okay, so mv-i f23 and then I use some existing file name f1. I option, it's prompting me for do you want to overwrite. Now both source and target is an existing file name. In all this example, my previous example, it wasn't an existing name. I was providing a new name, so it wasn't prompting me. Okay. Next command we have pwd, which I showed to check the current directory status, the directory in which I am placed. Passwd command we use to change the password. As a regular user, I can change only my password. As a super user, I can change password of any user. So, as a regular user, it prompts me my existing password, the old, and then I have to provide the new password. So, passwd, and then I have to provide the old password first and then 2 times new password. Cd command is to change a directory. Cd. Now first I will check my current directory status. I am there under EC2 user. I go for CD. I specify I would like to change to TMP and it's done. I would like to come out of this CD space dot dot. Make sure you give a space after CD. Dot dot indicates parent. So from current directory I am moving to the parent directory. Let me cross check. Yes. CD. I specify, let's say, okay, I won't be able to go to OPT. I'll just go to TMP. CD, I don't give anything. Last time I gave CD dot dot to move to parent, but this time I just give CD and hit enter. So even though I am there in multiple directories, I am there in a hierarchy, a directory within a directory, but the moment I give CD and hit enter, it will take me back to my home directory. mkdir. It's a command used to create a directory. rmdir is used to delete or remove a directory. mkdir. I would like to create a directory by the name d1. It's done. mkdir d1 d okay, d1 is already there. So if I want to create multiple directories, I can do like this. d2, d3, d4. Let me check ls. All these directories got created. So I can create single or multiple directory. I can also create a directory structure. Means I would like to create one within another. For example, mkdir. I would like to create a directory by the name India. Inside India, I would like to create another directory by the name Karnataka. Inside that, I would like to create another by the name Bangalore. So I can create the complete directory hierarchy, the structure. None of these directories are the existing one. I do not have India directory right now, but I can create the complete structure by using an option. And the option is -p. So it creates the complete directory hierarchy. Let us check. ls-R and I provide the name and it shows me that it's done. A complete directory hierarchy got created. I would like to remove a directory. rmdir. Now I am trying to remove India and it gives me error. rmdir can remove only empty directories. So first you need to make the directory empty. You can use rm command. Basically rm command is used to remove a file. rm file name, it gets removed. But when you want to remove a directory recursively, you can use -r option. rm-r directory name, it will remove the complete directory recursively, means the entire content of a directory is removed. So be careful when you provide this command. Make sure you provide the directory name, the one which you would want to delete. It will not give you any interactive message. So what has to be done? The best practice is use I option with this. -r recursively removing a directory, I to make it interactive, and then provide the directory name. It's prompting me. Now I can give yes or no. Presently I'm just making it no. Else if I give yes, it will prompt me for each and every subdirectory inside that and it gets removed. Now how do I remove a directory structure? This structure which I created, I would like to remove it together. So same, just like mkdir with rmdir, you can provide -p option and you can remove the entire structure together. Okay, there is an uppercase here. So we can create together a structure and we can remove it, but the directories should be empty. Only then you can remove it together using rmdir with -p option. So this is how you create a directory, you remove a directory using rmdir and you remove a directory recursively using rm command. Date command. Very basic command but useful. Date command shows you current system date time. If you want to get only date information, I don't want to see all this information, I can use options with date. Just like every command has got options, date also has options. But the way how we provide option with date is slightly different. Here you have to use plus, percent and then option name. D is an option that provides me date. T is an option that provides me time. H is an option that provides me month, R. Small h, month name. So like this you can use the options to get specific information from date. Cal command to display calendar. Current month calendar. Cal, if you would like to see the complete year calendar, give a year with cal. cal, month and a year to view a particular month calendar. Cal and argument. If you give just one argument, that it takes as a year. So it displays the complete year calendar. Who command, as we saw, to get list of logged in users. How many users are connected? How many users are logged on to this Linux server? That will be displayed with who command. Username, terminal name, what time user has logged on, from which machine, the IP address of that machine will be displayed. Which command we saw to get the command file location. More command is used to display page wise. Now ls -R, when I use /, it goes recursively, it's crawling. It's recursive list, but it is crawling. If I would like to see page wise, I can use ls-R and then pipe more. You can use pipe more with any command to get the output page wise. So one page at a time. Again, I use space key to get to display next page. Space next. Q for quit. Even with cat command, cat and a file name, if it's a big file, I can pipe it to more. Else, I can use more and a file name also to display the file content page wise. Who am I? Who am I provides me the local login information, means by which user I am working right now. What is my current user? It doesn't give me the logged in user, it provides me the switch user. If at all after logging in by one user I switch to another user. So who am I will provide me the switch user. Currently I did not do that. I did not switch. But let me do that. I will switch to super user and now I will rerun this command who am I, and you can find a difference. Though my login user is EC2-user, but my switch user is root. Host name, to find the system name, to find the operating system name, uname, which OS is installed here, and clear command to clear the screen. So that's all about the basic commands, some of the basic commands we explored today. So quick recap, we discuss about the structure of Linux commands, the syntax, how to issue any command. The syntax remains same for all the Linux commands. Command name, options, arguments. Then we discuss some of the basic commands like date, who, cal, clear, ls, cat, touch, mkdir, rmdir, rm command, who am I, host name, uname. So all these multiple, more than I guess close to 20 commands we discussed today on Linux. So I thank you all for joining me today. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to get the notification for upcoming videos. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.